urban planning is like one of the top 10 most colossal failures, I think. But that aside, the cost of doing something like that would just be absolutely prohibitive. And the reason that it was a failure for Detroit is that all the People Mover did was that it took people who had already gotten in their cars and driven downtown and moved them around. You know, we can do that here with a shuttle or something, but there's still an underlying parking deficit, and that's, you know, what we really have to address. So I'm concerned about solutions that spend money to relieve symptoms, but don't get at the underlying causes of those symptoms. And I think that's what the DDA found out, was that the cost of that shuttle system, which didn't add any capacity to the parking system, it just helped relieve some of the symptoms, but that cost was just too prohibitive in an environment where it's still much cheaper to park. So I didn't mean to make fun of your idea, but I don't think it would work very well in this situation.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, my name is Sharon. I just wanted to expand on Rich's comment. And I'm a resident also. I live right next door. I'm also a personal friend of the young lady that goes for chemo treatments. And I just wanted to share with you the importance of the residents and their lives and what they're going through. And just to give you a very short story, we went to church one Sunday and came back around 1:30 to park and come home. Unfortunately, this was one of Marie, that's her name, Marie Simonte. I want everybody please to remember that name. We went to church and came back. We could not park. There was nowhere for us to park. This was one of her worst days with the cancer. And we had to call her father. Her father had to come out, help her into the house, and then drive 45 minutes looking for a parking spot. So I just wanted, you know, everybody to kind of think about it more personally, in the sense that we don't want special treatment. We just simply want what we need. Simple parking for where we live.
And I just had a question. Does she also have a handicap pass, and she wasn't able to find handicap parking, or just regular parking? Nothing. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
That's an important story that we need. Thank you very much.
But the way the concentric zoning was written, it sounds like this would not be an option for her.
I think that I agree with you, and I think that's something that is something that we're reworking.
Okay, and one more comment, I'm sorry. And in addition to that, you know, as a resident, and you know, I'm sure Rich has experienced once or twice himself, we purchase our passes, okay? I don't agree with the increase, as no one else does, but that's neither here nor there. But we purchase our passes, and we're instructed to park in long-term parking, which we do, okay? But because of the influx, you know, of traffic and parking, we can no longer park in long-term. So if by some chance we do find the short-term parking and we park in it, then we get a ticket. We have to pay after we have already paid for a monthly parking pass. That is absolutely unfair to us. When we live here, we do business here, we spend our money here, we purchase our parking passes here, and we still get a ticket because we can't park where we're assigned. That's a big concern to me. I shouldn't have to pay a ticket when I've paid for a parking pass per month.
Thank you.
I do want to mention that in some of the cities that I'm aware of that have the concentric parking, persons with handicap parking stickers are exempt from, you know, that paying extra or what have you. It starts to be closer, so I'm sure that's probably something.
It's still a hardship though when
No,
you have groceries and luggage from the airport to have to park 2 blocks away or wherever. The concentric trains people to do a desired behavior, but we're residents and this is where we live. and your home is as far as you can go. And when you know, how would any of you wouldn't like someone telling you you have to park a block or two away, or your guests, your mother, your children would have to park blocks away to visit you.
And we were talking about that, the people who live in the apartments in downtown, in the residential pass conversation, you all came up in that. So again, you absolutely are on our minds.
I appreciate that.
And then also, I did question, I don't know if any of us have the answer actually, whether or not you use the loading and unloading zone, and whether or not you've experienced any tickets or issues.
It's hard on the weekend because sometimes it's ballet.
Okay.
And then sometimes the martial arts place over here and some of the other businesses use that for drop off because there's nowhere else
For
them
like the
to park.
kids and stuff like that. Okay.
Veronica?
Actually, it's kind of a comment and something to think about, which is Mr. Bruner said that the central business district would be the beneficiary of the parking deck. So I guess my question is, our statement, beneficiary, I mean, listen to these people here, they live downtown, you're speaking purely financially, but to benefit the whole downtown is gonna affect the residents, not just the ones that live down here, but all the ones that surround here. So I think you might wanna visit or rethink the way you think about the downtown. And when you say beneficiary, what does that actually mean when what this is doing is affecting, it's like a virus, because it's infecting everybody around the city. And so you can't just say, well, only the downtown is gonna benefit from this parking deck. What about these people
let me be
here?
clear
What
about
about
that.
the people on Troy, Withington, and all the way around the city who can't
The-
park in front of their house?
Let me be clear about that. The users of the parking system are one of the prime, perhaps the prime beneficiary of the parking system. And as best I can tell, there are three kinds of users: residents, business owners, and customers. And so far, what we've heard in our conversations about raising the costs for the users from business owners is, I don't want to pay more. I already pay enough. If I have to pay more, you're going to run me out of business. What we've heard from the residents is, we don't want to pay more either. We're already in a tight spot with the system that we have. We can't afford to pay more. So that leaves the customers as the only folks that we haven't really heard from directly, and that they don't want to pay more. And that's because they don't live here. They drive in from elsewhere and do their customer thing and leave. Now the other types of beneficiaries are the downtown property owners. If you own a property downtown and we increase the parking capacity downtown, the amount of rent you can charge on your building is going to go up, and the value of your property is going to go up. So they are a financial beneficiary. That's a different kind of benefit. And the DDA as a taxing authority benefits, because the DDA collects the taxes on those increases in values. So those are the parties that the parking system benefits. Now, if you are a resident outside the DDA on West Troy Street, on East Saratoga, where I live, then we're like the collateral beneficiaries. Right now, we're the collateral damage, and we can solve those problems with a residential permit parking program. But as you have pointed out and others have pointed out, if we do that in the absence of addressing the overall capacity problem, then it's just going to push people back into a system, a parking system that is under capacity, or we'll just keep pushing them out further and further into the neighborhoods until we have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 blocks of residential permit parking only, and then there's a point at which not enough customers are going to park that far away for it to really make a dent. So I hope that clarifies who I see as the beneficiaries. And